Hello and welcome back. This is another fifth grade math video. And for this video, we're going to be looking at how to use multiplication with powers of 10. Okay, here is our first problem. We're being asked to multiply the number 6 by 10 to the third power. So if you're not really sure what 10 to the third power is equal to, check out a previous video I did on how to evaluate powers of 10. Okay, so here we're going to do this two different ways. I'm going to show you two different ways to do it, and you can decide which way you like better. The first way would be to evaluate 10 to the third power. The shortcut for this is writing the 1 and then using the exponential number to tell us how many zeros would come after the 1. In this case, 1, 2, 3. So we still need to multiply 6 times that. So what I would do is focus on the numbers that are not 0. That would be 6 and 1. 6 times 1 is 6. And then I would add all these zeros, these 3 zeros, to the end of the problem, and that would be my answer. So this would be equal to 6,000. Here's another way you can do it. And I'm going to erase these markings I made up here just so that it's a little bit easier to see. What I could do is I could start by just multiplying the digits that are not 0. So that in case would be 6 and 1, which would give me 6. And then I could use the exponential number to tell me how many zeros to add to the end. So that'd be 1, 2, 3. So either way, I end up with 6,000 as my answer. And those are two different ways to do it. Okay, here's our next one. We're going to do 9 times 10 to the 8th power. So again, we can do this two different ways. I'll show you both. The first one is where we evaluate 10 to the 8th power. And again, if you're not sure what I mean by that, check out my earlier video on evaluating powers of 10. What we do is we write the 1, and I'm going to write it a little bit over here, give us some room. And the exponential number tells us how many zeros to add. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zeros. And then we're going to multiply 9 times that. So what I would do is start by multiplying the two digits that are not zeros. In this case, that would be 9 and 1. 9 times 1 is 9. And then I would have to add all those zeros at the end. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'd have to squish them in there. So the answer here would be 900 million. So here's the way that also you could use, which kind of combines the two things we just did. It evaluates the power and multiplies, but it takes out one of the steps. So that way would be to go ahead and multiply the numbers that are not 0, 9 times 1, which is 9, and then use the exponential number to tell me how many zeros to add to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when I put in my commas, I end up with the same answer. So I still end up with 900 million. Okay, here is our next one. We're going to take 41 and multiply it by 10 to the 4th power. So this time, I'm still going to show you both ways, but this time I'm going to start with the shortcut way, or the shortest way to do it, which is to take the 41 and multiply it by the 1, which would give you 41, and then use this number to tell me how many zeros to add. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'd go ahead and put in my commas. So my answer would be 410,000. Now, the other way to do it is to evaluate 10 to the 4th power by writing a 1 and then adding 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, and taking that and multiplying it by 41. Now I can look at the digits that are not zeros, multiply those. So 41 times 1 is 41, and then add 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the end. Either way, I end up with 410,000. Okay, here's our next one. We're going to do 46 times 10 to the 2nd power, or 10 squared. So I'm going to start by looking at 46 times 1, which is 46. And then I'm going to use this exponential number to tell me how many zeros to add to the end. So the answer should be 4,600. The other way to do it is to evaluate 10 to the 2nd power, which means write a 1 and then put 2 zeros after it, according to the exponential number. Then we're going to multiply that times 46. So then we're going to look at 46 times 1, which is 46. And then we're going to add 2 zeros. So either way, the answer would be 4,600. Okay, here is our last one for today's video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this one just using the shortest cut way. And that's the way where I don't evaluate the power. I just go ahead and multiply and add zeros. So I'm going to start by doing 95 times 1, which is 95, and then use the exponential number to tell me how many zeros to add. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I put a comma here and a comma here. So the answer to this, even if you choose to do it by evaluating 10 to the 6th power and then multiplying that by 95, should still be 95 million. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you in another video soon.